Good day everyone, good day class. Today I will be discussing about inductive and deductive reasoning. First, let me discuss about inductive reasoning. What is inductive reasoning? Inductive reasoning is the type of reasoning that forms a conclusion based on the examination of specific examples. The conclusion formed by using inductive reasoning is often called a conjecture, since it may or may not be correct. Inductive reasoning is the process of reaching a general conclusion by examining a specific examples. So sabi daw po dito class, inductive reasoning daw ay isang paraan ng pag-iisip kung saan gumagawa tayo ng conclusion base sa mga specific examples. Ibig sabihin, tinitingnan muna natin ang mga ilang cases or situations saka tayo nagge-generalize. Halimbawa, kung napansin mo na sa 3 araw na sunod-sunod, umuulan tuwing hapon, pwede mong isipin o sabihin na, siguro uulan bukas ng hapon ulit. That statement can be called a conjecture. Bakit po conjecture? Kasi lagi po nating tatandaan na ang conjecture ay pwede ring mangyari at pwedeng hindi mangyari. Ibig sabihin po, kahit na-observe mo na 3 araw ng umuulan tuwing hapon, pwedeng pagdating bukas na hapon ay hindi na po umulan. So ano po ang key idea o ano po ang dapat naming tandaan pagdating po sa inductive reasoning? Ang key idea po na dapat yung tandaan pagdating sa inductive reasoning is that from example to general conclusion. I repeat, from example to general conclusion. So let's have some example of inductive reasoning. First, a teacher notices that his students learn more when hands-on activities were incorporated into lessons. He decides to include the hands-on components in his future lessons regularly. Si teacher daw po is napansin niya na mas natututo ang mga estudyante niya kapag may hands-on activities. Dahil sa paulit-ulit na observation niya, nag-conclude si teacher na mas effective kung gagamit siya ng hands-on activities moving forward. So, dito po masasabi natin inductive reasoning siya kasi gumagamit siya ng specific experiences para gumawa ng general decisions. Example 2 naman, an architect discerns a pattern of cost overages for plumbing materials in jobs and ops to increase the estimate for plumbing cost and subsequent proposals. Si architect naman daw is napansin niya na laging lumalampas sa budget yung plumbing materials. Dahil sa paulit-ulit na experience na yon, gumawa siya ng general conclusion na tataasan niya na lang ang estimate sa susunod. Again, galing sa specific examples, then gumawa ng general rule. Malinaw po sa dalawa nating examples na ang inductive reasoning ay hindi po siya agad 100% sure or 100% na tama all the time. Pero ginagamit po siya sa paggawa ng mga practical conclusion base sa mga experiences at observations. Next, what are the requirements for inductive reasoning? Inductive reasoning requires several skills. Una po dyan is paying attention to detail. No one can draw conclusions based on detail without first noticing those details. Paying attention is crucial to inductive reasoning. If you're trying to develop better inductive reasoning, start by noticing more about the things around you. Ibig sabihin, dapat marunong po tayong mag-observe ng maigi. Hindi ka makakagawa ng conclusion kung hindi mo napapansin yung mga maliliit na bagay. Like for example, napansin mo na laging inaantok ang classmates mo tuwing after lunch. Kung hindi ka attentive, hindi mo mamamalayan yung pattern na yon. Next is recognizing patterns. Those who have strong inductive reasoning quickly notice patterns. They can see how certain objects or events lining up in a certain way that can result in a common outcome. Kapag marami ka daw na-observe, dapat kaya mo makita kung may pattern o paulit-ulit na nangyayari. Halimbawa, napansin mo na tuwing hindi nagre-review ang isang estudyante, mababang score na nakukuha niya. Doon, nagkakaroon ka na ng idea na may connection ang pagre-review at sa mababang score. Yun ang tinatawag po natin na power of pattern recognition. Next is making projections. Closely related to recognizing patterns is being able to predict what the future will hold based on the information you have. Leaders can typically predict that certain decisions will lead to more group cooperation and greater success. Financial projections are one example of making projections. Sabi daw po dito class, kapag marunong ka daw makakita ng mga patterns, ang susunod na step ay kaya mo mag-predict o gumawa ng hula tungkol sa future. Base ito sa mga impormasyon na meron ka sa ngayon. Halimbawa, kung leader ka sa isang classroom at napansin mo na kapag group activity, mas cooperative yung mga classmates mo, pwede mo i-conclude na sa susunod na project, mas magiging successful ulit kung gagawin siyang group-based or group activity. Pagdating naman sa business, gaya ng financial projections, kung laging tumataas ang sales tuwing December, maaari mong i-predict na ngayong December is mataas din yung sales na makukuha mo. Next is committing information to memory. Inductive reasoning is often directly connected to your ability to recall past events and details leading up to those events. To bolster your memory, take notes so you can reference your observation later on. Kailangan din natin ng magandang memory daw para maalala ang mga past observations natin. Kasi kung hindi mo matandaan yung mga details, mahirapan kang mag-generalize. Halimbawa, kung napansin mo dati na mahina ka sa math, kapag hindi ka nagpa-practice, dapat maalala mo ito para susunod, magpa-practice ka na agad. Pwedeng makatulong dito yung pagsusulat ng notes para hindi mo makalimutan. Next and lastly is that using emotional intelligence. Using emotional intelligence or emotional intelligence is the ability to perceive the emotions that are behind people's action. People with high levels of emotional intelligence are more understanding of others and better be able to get to the heart of issues between two or more people. Ibig sabihin po dito, kung marunong ka umintindi ng emotions ng ibang tao sa likod ng kanilang actions, kapag mataas daw ang emotional intelligence mo, mas madaling maintindihan mo kung bakit ganito o ganyan ang behavior ng isang tao. Halimbawa, napansin mo na tahimik ang isang classmates mo at hindi nakikisalit sa group work. Kung mataas ang emotional intelligence mo, maiisip mo na baka may pinagdadaanan lang siya o nahihiya lang, hindi dahil sa tinatamad siya. Sa ganitong paraan, mas nakakaintindi ka at mas nakakagawa ka ng better conclusion base sa observation. So lagi po nating tatandaan, hindi lang details at patterns ang mahalaga sa inductive reasoning, pati din ang emotions ng tao. Dito naman tayo sa mga numerical patterns gamit ang inductive reasoning. Ang gagawin natin ay hahanap tayo ng pattern sa mga numbers tapos ipipredict natin yung susunod. So first, example is 2, 4, 6, 8. Kung titingnan po natin, bawat number ay nadadagdagan ng plus 2. So, yung starting from 2, naging 4 siya, which is plus 2. Then after, 4 naging 6. Then 6 naging 8. So, pag sunod po natin yung patterns na nagdadagan ng 2, so 8 plus 2, dapat ang sunod niya sagot is 10. Tama po ba? Next, sa letter B naman po. Titingnan po natin is 3, 4, 6, 9. Kung i-check natin yung pattern niya, yung 3, nadagdagan siya ng 1, kaya naging 4. Yung 4 naman, nadagdagan siya ng 2, kaya naging 6. Yung 9 naman, nadagdagan siya ng 3, kaya naging 9. So, ang kasunod dapat is plus 4. So, 4 plus 9, dapat ang susunod na number is 13. Kaya dapat ang sagot natin sa example number 2 is 13. Next, sa letter C naman tayo. Titingnan po natin, 5, 8, 14, 23. Hanapan naman natin yung nadagdag. Sa una naman, 5, nadagdagan siya ng 3, kaya naging 8. Then yung 8, nadagdagan siya ng 6, kaya naging 14. Yung 14 naman, nadagdagan ng 9, kaya naging 23. Napansin nyo ba na yung ina-add tuwing tumataas is 3. So, dapat, ang susunod is add 29 na siya. So, 23 plus 12 is 35. Ulitin natin ha. Sa 5, nadagdagan siya ng 3, kaya naging 8. Yung 8, nadagdagan ng 6, kaya naging 14. Yung 14, nadagdagan ng 9, kaya naging 23. Kaya dapat, susunod dyan is madadagdagan na siya ng 12. So, 12 plus 23, dapat ang kasunod dyan is 35. So, class, ganito gumagana ang inductive reasoning. Na-observe muna natin yung pattern, tsaka tayo nagkakaroon ng prediction. Next is counterexamples. A statement is a true statement provided that it is true in all cases. If you can find one case for which a statement is not true, call the counterexample. Then the statement is a false statement. In the next example, we verify that each statement is a false statement by finding a counterexample for each. Nakakalito po ba? Hindi po ba? Ngayon, mas papadaliin po natin siya. Sabi daw po dito, kapag sinabi daw natin na ang isang statement ay true, dapat true siya sa lahat ng cases. Ulitin ko po. Kapag sinabi daw natin ng statement ay true, dapat true siya sa lahat ng cases. Pero kapag nakahanap ka ng isang example na hindi tugma o hindi totoo, iyon ay tinatawag na nating counterexample. At dahil may counterexample, ibig sabihin mali o false yung original statement. Ito, para mas maliwanag, bigyan tayo ng example. Yung statement is all even numbers are divisible by 4. Yung example daw is all even numbers are divisible by 4. Kung titingnan natin, 8, which is even numbers, is divided by 4 is equals to, which is correct. Then, 12, which is even numbers, divided by 4 is 3, which is correct again. Pero kapag kinuha natin ang 6, which is also an even number, tapos dinivide natin siya sa 4, then hindi na po siya magiging divisible by 4. So, dito masasabi natin na ang 6 ay magiging counterexample na po siya. Dahil dito, magiging false na yung statement na all even numbers are divisible by 4. So, tatandaan po natin na isang counterexample lang, sapat na para mapatunayan na mali ang isang statement. So, ibig sabihin po, kahit gaano pa karaming tama yung ginawa mo, pero pag may isa kang maling ginawa, ibig sabihin mali na po yung statement na yon. Next, let us discuss now the deductive reasoning. Another type of reasoning is called deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is distinguished from inductive reasoning in that it is the process of reaching a conclusion by applying general principles and procedures. Deductive reasoning is the process of reaching a conclusion by applying general assumptions, procedures, or principles. Kung yung inductive reasoning daw, class, ay from specific examples to general conclusion, ang deductive reasoning naman ay from general principle to specific conclusion. Ulitin ko po, yung inductive reasoning daw is from specific example to general conclusion. Yung deductive reasoning naman daw is from general principles to specific conclusions. Magkabaliktaran po siya. Halimbawa, ang general principle mo is all humans are mortal. Yung specific case mo is Socrates is a human. Then, you can have a conclusion that, therefore, Socrates is mortal. Kumbaga, gumagamit tayo ng general rule or assumption, tapos ina-apply natin ito sa isang specific situation para makabuo tayo ng conclusion. So, lagi po natin tatandaan, inductive, specific to general. Deductive, general to specific. So, let's have some examples of deductive reasoning. First example, all numbers ending in 0 or 5 are divisible by 5. The number 35 ends with 5, so it must be divisible by 5. Sabi daw dito, all numbers ending in 0 or 5 are divisible by 5. The number 35 ends with 5, so it must be divisible by 5. May general rule tayo na kapag ang numbers daw nagtatapos sa 0 or 5, divisible siya by 5. Si 35 ay nagtatapos sa number na 5. So automatic, divisible siya by 5. That's deductive reasoning. Pangalawa naman, all birds have feathers. All robins are birds. Therefore, robins have feathers. Sa general rule, lahat daw ng ibon may feathers. Sa specific case naman, robin ay isang bird. Kaya ang conclusion mo is, ang robin ay may birds din. Pangatlo, and lastly, it's dangerous to drive on icy streets. The streets are icy now, so it would be dangerous to drive on the streets. So, ang general principle po natin dito is delikado daw mag-drive sa icy roads. Yung specific situations naman natin is, ngayon daw, ang roads ay icy. Kaya ang conclusion po natin ngayon is delikado mag-drive sa ngayon. So sa lahat po ng examples, makikita na gumagamit tayo ng general principles tapos ina-apply natin sa specific case para makabuo tayo ng conclusion. Para mas malinaw po class, ang deductive reasoning ay nagsisimula ka sa general principle tapos ina-apply mo sa specific case. Kaya ang direction niya ay big to small. Pag sinabi natin deductive reasoning, ang principle dyan or direction niya ay from big to small, from general to specific. Halimbawa, all fruits have seeds. An apple is a fruit, therefore, apple has seeds. Pagdating naman sa inductive reasoning, nagsisimula ka naman sa specific observations, tapos gumagawa ka ng general conclusions. Kaya ang direction mo naman ay small to big. Halimbawa, nakita mong tatlong magkakaibang pusa ay ayaw maligo. Pwede mong sabihin na siguro lahat ng pusa ay ayaw maligo. So, ang simple comparison is deductive, general to specific, big to small, inductive, specific to general, small to big. So, ngayon naman, identify natin kung inductive o deductive ang bawat example. First example is that during the past 10 years, a tree has produced mangoes every other year. Last year, the tree did not produce mangoes. So, this year, the tree will produce mangoes. Dito, gumagamit tayo ng specific observations kasi sa past 10 years daw, may pattern na tayo na every year, nagpo-produce ng mangoes, yung tree nagpo-produce ng mangoes. So, para mag-conclude ng general idea, ngayong taon, mamumunga ito. Ibig sabihin, ito ay inductive reasoning. Sa pangalawang examples naman, all home improvement cost more than the estimate. The contractor estimated that my home improvement will cost 500,000. Thus, my home improvement will cost more than 500,000. Dito naman, nagsimula tayo sa general principle. All home improvement cost more than the estimate. Tapos, in-apply natin sa specific case, yung home improvement mo. Ang naging conclusion ay lalampas ito sa 500,000 pesos. Ibig sabihin, ito ay deductive reasoning. Yun lang po ang malinaw na pagkakaiba ng dalawa na inductive at deductive reasoning.